Whoopsie, wrong. Updog 28.
How are you with everything that's going on?
Me in general, or
I
just
mean, I mean, we don't really have normal conversations, so I guess it's no better time than now to have a normal conversation with you.
everything is okay.
So I guess it's no better time than now to
Staying
have a
safe
normal
and
conversation.
staying as healthy as we can. Everything is finally getting back to
So I guess it's
the
no better
work
time.
routine, and that's interesting. But going out to golf tomorrow, so that's good.
Cool.
How about you?
Everything, physically, I'm like everything is fine. I just, well, kind of fine. I just don't feel normal and back to
Hey,
normal yet.
Sham, guys, we're on the air, by the way, just in case there's anything you're talking about that you don't want to have everybody hear.
Oh, okay, no, it's
Sorry.
cool.
Okay.
But like, the one thing I could admit that they are honest, like that they tell the truth about on TV is, people not ever really, everybody that has contracted COVID, they, end up having complications after the fact. And
Right.
so I really haven't had the time to go get a physical. So
Hmm.
I'm pretty much like, yeah, let me go get myself self checked out like the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
So but other than that, everything is fine. Just getting little Sham ready for school and stuff
It's
like that.
definitely
So
a better safe than sorry situation.
oh, definitely. I mean, we've had at this airport out here, we've had maybe close to 100 people, like overall, like through all the airlines and airport workers, like pass away.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's actually somebody that was like a mentor to me. Like I knew him for like 20 years, and it was like he went in one week, and then the second week by that following weekend he was gone. So yeah, and like how they handled it, like it was really shitty. Like how most companies have been handling it has been really shitty. So yeah. But other than that,
Mostly because nobody knows what the heck to do. It's
yeah,
just they don't know the right or wrong way to do things. It's all so new and so scary. I can imagine.
no, I definitely agree.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
on that happy note, I'm going to just make sure my voice sounds okay. I think Magic has joined us. RVD is not going to make it. I know you guys saw his message. So
Mhm.
Danny and K Will and Dropper checking our sounds. They say you guys sound good. I just want to make sure they can hear me. And then we will be off and running.
What's up, AFL?
Lady Killer.
Might be a little delayed. They're not saying they can hear me or not. I'm going to double check it. I'm just going to log into Twitch and see if I'm coming through. Saying they can hear me or not. Oh, I can hear myself. I'm just going to log into Twitch. I'm gonna bet that it's all right. All right, Costa says they can hear me. All right, cool. All right, guys, welcome to Team Selection Podcast number 2. Tonight we have a little bit different cast of characters from last week. Back again are Magic and Sham, but with us tonight is Stokes, who wasn't here for podcast number 1. Stokes, I assume you have gone back and listened to every minute of podcast number 1, reviewed it in depth, and have a full amount of thoughts on how we did, right?
I have lots and lots of notes. Absolutely.
All right, well, let's review really quickly what teams we have already revealed because, again, we're going to do one more team per division. One thing I didn't have time to do tonight, I really wanted to make a graphic for each division that showed who the teams were that we're revealing. I'm going to be honest with you guys, I flat out ran out of time tonight. I got a little greedy with some errands I wanted to run and taking more time to do certain things. I ended up throwing together the images for this podcast in about 20 minutes. So some of the images are kind of bitmaps, some of them they're not stretched out the way. I mean, it's not going to be as visually appealing as I would like. It's certainly passable, but as we reveal the teams tonight, we're going to also review the teams that are in their division. But just right off the bat, the 8 teams that were revealed last week, we had the New York Giants going to Edub. We had the Carolina Panthers going to Kimmy. We had the LA Rams going to Goof. We had the Chicago Bears going to West. We had the Tennessee Titans going to Chef. We had the Pittsburgh Steelers going to Luca. We had the Miami Dolphins going to Pepe. And we had the LA Chargers going to Lara. And now we are on to podcast number 2. Tonight we are going to be revealing the Dallas Cowboys, New Orleans Saints, Arizona Cardinals, Detroit Lions, Indianapolis Colts, Cincinnati Bengals, New England Patriots, and Denver Broncos. Guys, let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it. And I think one of the more interesting teams in this process is going to be the team we're going to talk about first, and that is the New England Patriots. Now, Stokes, the Patriots have never really been the sexiest Madden team outside of that year they had Randy Moss, or maybe some of those years they had Rob Gronkowski and Aaron Hernandez. But until they made a quarterback move about a month and a half ago, they were on the verge of being one of the least attractive teams in recent Madden history.
Yeah, I think that a lot of their game, like, it doesn't translate to Madden very well, because like the Julian Edelman is a fantastic wide receiver in real life, but in Madden he's short, he's slow, and the things that he does well in real life don't translate to the game. And it's the same goes to the defensive players. A lot of them, they're just like sound. They're not going to make mistakes, and you can't really translate that to football outside. I mean, translate that to Madden outside of making like the penalty trait disciplined, but that doesn't really matter too much in Madden. But all in all, their roster was not very good. I mean, you had Gilly Lock, and that's pretty much it to count on for that team. And with the addition of Cam, that's really nice. But I mean, the team is not going to wow you with their talent.
Magic, they're not going to wow you with their talents. What do you think about the uniform options in New England?
They're quite disappointing. Not a lot of good options. You know, this whole division sucks. How about that?
Hey, whoa, 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 whoa.
Jeez.
There is one set of
Hold your dish
uniforms
there, buddy.
in this division that are fantastic. But
Jets.
we will get to
Fantastic.
them in
That's
about a
mine.
week or two. Um,
Uh,
all right, guys. The Patriots are not a very popular team in Madden. We've covered that. I thought Madden School, the MS rank, had them ranked at number 25. I thought that was actually kind of generous. Now maybe that's rating Cam Newton a little higher than I would have. I am stalling right now because I want to pull up the rankings that Madden School put out and talk about who their sleeper was for the Patriots. Um,
Hernandez was a sleeper.
he's definitely
Yikes.
sleep. Man, Magic just went for the throat on that one. All right, Nick, Nick, you're not going to out cringe me. All right, N'Keal Harry is a receiver you will really want to focus on developing.
Is a receiver.
If you do it right, he should become a very solid wide receiver one for your franchise for years to come. All right, so N'Keal Harry, the first round pick from last year. I am going to drop the link to that entire Madden School article in chat right now if you want to check it out. And I'd encourage you to. It's a very good information page for teams that you're interested in, teams that you're not interested, and all that fun stuff. But guys, let's not waste any more time. Let's find out who's going to get the Patriots in Madden 21. Actually, we are going to waste a little bit more time. I have a little bit of news from RVD. RVD handled the team selection, I guess, analytics from last week, but he couldn't make it tonight. So New England Patriots were listed on only one list. And you all might be thinking, oh, Creasy. Well, we actually had a miscommunication with Creasy, and not really a miscommunication. His internet was out for the entire weekend leading up to team selection, so he didn't get his list in. So, spoiler alert, Creasy is not getting the Patriots in AFL 21. Only one of 4 teams to find itself on just one list. 2 of them were revealed last week, so we have one left. Let's not waste any more time talking about the disgusting Patriots. Let's just reveal the owner now, and I think it's going to come as a little bit of surprise. It is Reese. Reese had the Patriots second on his list. His first team was very popular. We're not going to get into who that was, but um, Reese is one of the more active AFL owners. Sham, what do you think about the fit with Reese in New England? Whoa, that's an evil laugh.
Are we sure he didn't think it was the 2007 Patriots?
Cannot confirm or deny.
But
Okay.
that was a total Reese move. Yeah, I I don't
Thanks for that, Sham. Stokes, what do you think about Reese in New
Valuable.
England?
I mean, I think the way that Reese has played, he like to pass the ball, and I think that the Patriots are okay with that. I mean, I if I had this team, if I was given this team or chose this team, I mean, the first thing I would do would be break them down and trade out the good older players. And that's counterintuitive for what I normally do,
I was
but
going to
I
say,
would trade the older players.
nobody believes that, but go ahead.
Yeah,
Need
I
more
would
people.
trade I'd trade those guys to rebuild the squad because a lot of their good players there, 29 or older than that. So if you're not if you're not going to make it happen the first season, then they're going to die on you.
What's even interesting about them is they don't even have the like random Madden playmakers that aren't really good in real life, but at least show up on your roster and like, "Oh, I can do something with him." A guy like Philip Dorsett comes to mind, who was there the last couple years, always has mid 90s speed. He's moved on to Seattle. I never saw it with this team. I love Gilmore. He's one of my favorite players in the entire league. But even Gilmore, I mean, from a cornerback standpoint, it's not like he's going to get any better. He's hit that age threshold where it's not really going to be any progression at this point. So we, Danny says Stokes would just trade for Brady back. So
That is logical.
that makes sense.
I can get him
Um,
for like a fourth round pick, man.
Stokes, based on I I don't know. I'm guessing Cam is probably going to be star. Given his age, do you think it's still feasible that you could get him to superstar and then get that escape artist on him, or is it too late in the game for him?
So I think that it's really going to be dependent upon how the abilities shake out, whether you can get escape artists before 95. Because for Madden 20, you had to, if you didn't already have it, you had to be 95 overall, 95 on the archetype. And at his age, I don't think you'll be able to get to 95 without like 300% on the XP sliders. If like with normal sliders, normal XP, you're not gonna get him to 95 before he dies, and then you're working against it because every year he'll go down 3 overall, and you have to spend the whole year getting that back up. So unless he gets it like as soon as he gets to superstar, he's never gonna get it.
Joker's weighing in saying it's too late for old Cam, so I would take his word for it too. He seems to definitely have a good feel for this. But the first reveal tonight is an interesting one. Reese to New England, and it wasn't by force; it was by choice. He was going to get a team he wanted. He got a team he wanted, and it wasn't a team that a lot of people wanted. But the Patriots are off the board. Reese is off the board. Let's go to a team that was pretty popular. I need to pull that up with what RVD had sent me. The Dallas Cowboys Madden School rank number 8. Now, Magic, when you talk about uniforms, there's not a lot of diversity with these uniforms, but they do have this classic NFL feel to them. Where do you weigh in on the Cowboys uniforms?
2020, we need more diversity.
That's that's putting it lightly. Yeah.
Nick Milton just hit a three, also, by the way, to give the Sixers a lead by one over the Spurs with 6 seconds left. The uniforms can get they're plain. People like them only because they're classic, not because they're anything special.
I can agree with that. The Madden School sleeper player is Alabama cornerback Trayvon Diggs. They got him in the second round. Um,
Is he
and
related to Stefan?
He is. He's his brother. The brother of star receiver Stephon Diggs. Look at Magic. I mean, doesn't pay attention to the NFL for a year and just comes back in, just gets things, hits them out of the park. Has the potential to be a shutdown corner. Make sure to focus on developing him early, and you will reap the benefits. Stokes, I kind of like this roster. CD Lamb should be a really strong addition to an already really strong receiving core. Zeke Elliott's obviously a beast. Prescott's plenty good enough to win within Madden. If O line matters, you're in great shape. And defensively, they have two really big, decently fast linebackers, a pretty good secondary with the addition of Diggs, and Demarcus Lawrence on the defensive line. There's a lot to work with on this roster.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that they're ready and built to win in the first season. But I think in the first season they're going to have to make a really big decision regarding what they want to do with Dak Prescott because they'll have to give him like QB1 money, and he's not really rated that way as far as like a high 80s, a high 90 overall. So you'll have to pay him that money and hope that you're going to continue to develop him. And another factor is he's going to be 27 in the game, so that puts him behind on how to develop the XP as well. But if you have the money, there isn't a whole lot of places that you need to spend it as far as where the team is because they're built pretty well.
You better have my money.
All right, guys, we're gonna take a quick break from the Cowboys because Reese posted his opinion in chat, and we're gonna get this on the podcast if we can. This is his reaction to what just happened. Me right now. The only thing I'm disappointed in Reese in is he's the master of putting his own face on whatever gifs or whatever he's got going on, and he didn't do this here. Maybe he thought the kid was cute and wanted to leave it as is, but Reese's head dancing on that body would have been a 10 out of 10. I still give him a 9 out of 10 for creativity.
Absolutely.
Well done, Reese. Oh man. Back to our Dallas Cowboys. Let's go to what RVD had said about them. I don't remember how popular they were. They're a team that you normally think is going to be popular, but we have some Cowboy fans in the league, which could have gotten people away from them. Cowboys were on a total of 6 lists, according to RVD. The most times a team appeared as number one on a list was 4 times. Dallas was just behind, appearing on 3 lists in the number one spot. Number one was the most popular spot for Dallas. We do have some Cowboy fans here. West, who went last week, A-Bomb, Stang, Fisher, and Roman are all Cowboys fans. So it's definitely a logjam to try to get that team. Guys, let's not wait any longer. Let's find out who is going to be running the Dallas Cowboys in Madden 21. And it is, drumroll, Stang. Been here since Madden 11, the original Dallas Cowboys owner. Just an all around active player. He was in PS4 for a bit last year. He has been with us since the beginning. As loyal can be as far as AFL is concerned. He is going to find himself where, in most situations, Stang is one of the more aggressive traders. I think Stokes, one thing that you talk about is when you get your favorite team, it can be a little trickier trying to do trades, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's difficult to stay objective when you're talking about a team that is your favorite because you end up overvaluing players that you have an affinity for. So if I had the Bills, I probably wouldn't trade a player like Josh Allen or Trey White, even if I think I'm going to win the trade because I love these players. So it makes me more apprehensive to trade them. So that if you're not a trader, having your team makes it easy. But if you're addicted to the transaction, it's really difficult to choose your favorite team.
So I already messed up saying I was going to reveal remind everybody who the teams were in the divisions, and I forgot it on the first one last week. With Reese going to New England, Pepe and Reese now are in the AFC East, and then last week, Sham, we had Edub going to the Giants, K Will going to the I'm sorry, I'm getting confused because K Will said send CD, and he's still bitter about that. We have who did we just reveal? Staying going to the Cowboys. So Sham 2 for 2 now with guys getting their teams. 2 for 2 with guys who have been here since at least the PS3 days. I could be wrong about that. Edub may have joined us in PS4. What do you think about Staying going to Dallas?
Well, he's been a loyal, like you said, he's been a loyal guy. Gets his games in. Doesn't make many trades unless they make sense for his team. But yeah, overall, solid. Solid pick for the Cowboys owner. I mean, you really couldn't wait. What the hell is that noise? Oh, okay.
I think
Uh,
Magic's making a protein shake.
that's what.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what.
what I do.
Oh God.
Fucking ripped over here.
No, I mean, you really couldn't have gone wrong. But again, staying is always solid. So
Man, Danny's worried that Nino's going to get the Ravens. Have one of you been talking and sending out who's getting who?
I was going to
No,
help you reveal the teams we already said, but I forgot who the public knows, so I kept my mouth shut because I didn't want to spoil that he does get the Ravens. Ah, damn.
Damn it. Damn it. He said, send Swift. You're going to love the Lions. Boom, roasted. I think we should get to the Lions, aren't they? I think they might be up next. Let me see what order we have here. Any more thoughts on Staying in Dallas? We've covered it pretty well. We all are very happy Sting got his team. A fun team to work with, good starting point. We are not going to go to the Lions next, though. We're going to go.
Do they have any money?
Who's that, Dallas?
Yeah,
It's going to be tough in Madden because Dak is going to be on the. Um, let me,
the franchise.
yeah, he's going to be on the franchise tag. So they. It'll probably depend on what you can get done with Dak. I wonder if Madden 21 is going to have a cap in 2021 that mirrors what the NFL is going to go through with a cap that doesn't go up. I kind of doubt it. So, from that respect, I would think Dallas would be okay because once you extend Dak, that his price will go down from the franchise tag because of the natural progression of contracts being more expensive later in the years. So the first couple of years there'll be some relief there. A team that will not have to worry about paying a quarterback for a long, long time. The Cincinnati Bengals. They had the first overall pick in the most recent NFL draft, and they took Stokes' guy Joe Burrow. Magic. I think they have some of the nicer uniforms in the league. I wouldn't put them up there with the elite NFC South teams, but I think they're probably at least a strong B, maybe a B plus on a good day. What do you think?
They're a very solid second tier kind of team. Fans of the team would be like, "Oh man, our jerseys can really stack up to the elites of the elites," but they're more like a Buffalo Bills of 2020.
yikes!
Oh,
This
well, that's a
guy.
compliment for where you've been. How about you say a thank you? Normally there's just vomit on Bill's corner, but today you got a street cleaner.
Josh Allen was in the NFL top 100, don't you know?
I
Sure
heard that, and
was.
then I realized that the players don't know how to vote on things.
What are you talking
Uh,
about? You don't think Patrick Mahomes is the third best quarterback in the league?
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
he's right behind Lamar Jackson.
I love Lamar Jackson.
Joker's out of his mind. Joker, you're out of your mind.
What does
He
Joker
looks you and
say?
he's thumb down.
Ugh.
Stick that thumb right up your butt.
wow.
Wow. That-
I don't know why that one got me so mad in the funny bone. Madden School ranked number 27 for the Bengals. I thought that was pretty fair. Unlike the Patriots, the Bengals do have some players who do translate well to Madden. John Ross is always really nice with his high end speed. Joe Mixon is one of the better young running backs in the game. Geno Atkins is still a beast. Um, Joe Burrow is going to be fine. I know people freaked out about his 86 throw power, but the big key there is superstar X factor quarterback at his age. You're going to be able to build him into whatever you want him to be. AJ Green is still a beast and will be for a year or two. They have some solid options in T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd. I believe T. Higgins was the guy that was called out by Madden School as the sleeper player. T. Higgins, the Clemson wideout doesn't it seem like there's a Clemson wideout stud in every draft for like the last 10 years? The Clemson wideout has a lot of potential and with other star receivers on his team has the ability to get into some pretty favorable matchups. He is young and big, but if you need speedster wide receivers, he may not be the right fit for you with only 87 speed. Now, before we reveal who the Cincinnati Bengals go to, we have to say that the Bengals were one of the four teams that did not go to somebody on their list. So that brings us to what RVD had to say, where they were on two total lists, but they didn't go to somebody who had them on the list. Just the way it shook out. Um, so with that, whoever gets the Bengals gets two development upgrades. Last week with the Steelers, Luka got one. We looked at that roster and we're like, this is a pretty damn good team. We do want to give you one development upgrade because
I
you're
think
not getting
so.
a team on your list. The Bengals get two development upgrades. Stokes, I feel like that's a pretty good to get two development upgrades for any player you want, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's a way to help out with a team that may not be. Um, Obviously, if you get stuck with a team that you didn't put on your list, it's a pretty good compromise. And there are some players that you can choose to use that on. Like if you wanted to put that on John Ross, and then you have this young wide receiver with 97 or whatever speed they give him, and you can continue to develop him into a good player because that's what people tend to do with the John Rosses and the other guys that have a lot of speed. You just get them some stats, and then they get the superstar and all that other stuff. So I think that's a good compromise, and that does definitely help. Sure.
Guys, if you're hanging out in AFL chat, I just pulled up the RidgeBot notification for Super Bowl one. Ridge's 49ers defeat Swag's Bengals 10 to nothing. Now, why would I pull that up? It's because Swag was our original Bengals owner from way, way, way back in the day in Madden 11, and it's funny how things come full circle because he's no longer goes by Swag. He goes by, well, Creasy in PS4. I'm just gonna keep calling him Trav or Swag, whatever you want to call him. But in Madden 21, I'm sorry that's off centered, you can call him the Bengals owner. Trav gets the Bengals with two very nice upgrades. So right now we know that Trav has the Bengals, Luca has the Steelers. Sham, what do you think about the fit with Trav, Swag, Creasy, whatever you want to call him, in Cincinnati back where he started in Madden 11?
I would have preferred him with New England just because that's what he normally picks. But yeah, it's whatever.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. It's possible. Now, this was not by design. Again, his internet went out. He did not submit a list on purpose, but it's also possible that he thinks he's going to be in position to get New England in a different league, presumably PS4. It's not like they're going to be a highly sought after team, and he's going to have a pretty good shot at a good draft pick. So I don't know if he would have wanted to double dip there. Magic, you already talked about the uniforms. Stokes, we talked about T. Higgins. Any other players that I didn't mention that stand out to you as a Bengals player that would be worth even slapping a development grade on, upgrade on?
They have some young, fast corners. They've got William Jackson, who well, he's not even gonna be young, but he's still pretty fast. Jesse Bates. When I had the Bengals, that's the guy I was using, and he's a safety, and he was pretty good. I think I got him up to superstar, and he can be a guy that you could use to develop. And they have Carl Lawson too, I believe. I don't think they have Jordan Willis anymore because that was the guy that if anyone who had the Bengals, that would be who they would want, is because he was like 87 feet, 85 strength, something like that, as a defensive end. But I think those are the two guys that I think of. And yeah, yeah.
So JD asked a good question in chat that I don't think we actually thought about. He asked if you can do two upgrades on the same player. Like, can you make somebody go from normal to superstar?
We did talk about that.
Did we talk about
Yeah, I
that?
don't think I'd have any
No, we
opposition to
didn't. I
that.
thought we decided it's two separate, not two total.
Works for
That was
me. Yeah, JD, we talked about that. We had a nice long conversation about that. I will remember it like it's yesterday. And we decided, what did we decide, Magic?
um, two upgrades for different players and not.
Yes, two upgrades for different players and not the same player.
Sorry,
That is what we
Lakers are up by
discussed.
4 on the Jazz.
Who's up by 4 on the Jazz?
Lakers. 76ers won that game, by the way, for those who are curious.
Nuggets won earlier in overtime without any guards on the court, so
The
suck it.
Nuggets.
All right.
Thunder Nuggets.
Thunder Nuggets. All right. Well, guys, let's go from one team that people would call a shitty cat team, to another shitty cat team, the Detroit Lions.
Jaguars.
Oh,
Motherfucker.
kind of is what it is. Well, I mean, it's hard to argue about the Lions being shitty. Madden School rates them as the 32nd ranked team. Let's see if Madden School has any signs of optimism. Again, if you want to scroll up or go over to our Madden 21 news, you can find this entire article. It doesn't just have sleeper players, it does a nice little breakdown, gives you a blueprint for what you should do if you get one of these teams, how you should attack building this team to make them as good as possible in Madden 21. Rookie defensive end Julian Okwara is the prototype of a raw Madden defender. Yes, he is. 6'4", 250 pounds with 86 speed and 89 acceleration. Focus, train, and develop the third-round pick as soon as you can. You want to talk about a team that had a really sexy Madden draft. You talk about Jeffrey Okuda in the first round, DeAndre Swift in the second round, and then Okwara in the third round. That ain't bad, Stokes.
No, it's not bad. And they got Kenny Galladay as well, and Marvin Jones, he's a little bit older, and they still have C.J. Hawkinson. So they've got some guys that you can build with on offense, and you just have to deal with the fact that Matt Stafford is older, and he may not be the guy that he once was, and you're not going to be able to build around Matthew Stafford anymore. He's just going to be a guy that you gotta live with as he continues to regress.
Magic, you were the Lions in Madden 12, Madden 13, just throwing bombs all day to Calvin Johnson. What do you think about their uniforms?
The black ones are real smooth. The rest of those can kick rocks though.
Okay, black ones I agree are very
No
smooth.
comparison there.
I think the rest of the Lions uniform combinations kind of seem like a knockoff version of the Cowboys to me, but that's just me growing up watching them on Thanksgiving and like, oh, there's a silver team on Thanksgiving that's not good, and then there's a silver team on Thanksgiving that is good. So I always kind of, when I was a kid, got those two teams confused. Guys, let's talk about who is going to. Oh, let me see if RVD had any notes on the Lions. I'm sure he did, as I'm clicking around here as unorganized as can be. The Lions were on two total lists at the 4 and 5 spots. 20 teams were chosen more than the Lions. So, guys, the 32nd ranked team, they've been the butt of the joke in chat for a while, yet they ended up being on two total lists, and they are going to somebody who had them on their list. And that is what I like to call a transition into who the Lions owner is, and it's going to be A-Bomb. So this has probably been a bit of a disappointing show for him. He does get a team that was on his list. He is a Cowboys fan. I'll let you guys figure out that he probably had them ranked fairly high on his list, so that was probably disappointing for him. He gets the fourth team on his list in the Lions. We just reviewed the draft class. The cupboard is not bare there. There is a lot to work with. And Stokes even mentioned guys that they drafted last year in Hawkinson. And I think Okuda is going to be that next shutdown cornerback in Madden. Stafford has a cannon for an arm. You could probably even trade him to a quarterback needy team, maybe a team like Carolina that has a bunch of speed receivers but doesn't have necessarily the quarterback with the arm to take advantage of it. I think there are things you can do in Detroit that would kind of excite me if I got them as at least a path to success. So in this division so far, we know that A-Bomb has the Lions and Westside Charles has the Chicago Bears. Sham, what do you think about how the NFC North is shaken up so far?
Yeah. Next team.
God, what could A-Bomb or Westside Charles have possibly done to you to deserve an eh? They're like two of the nicest guys here.
Boo. Next team.
Okay. All right. Well, I think A-Bomb's going to do well with the Lions. I think he's probably better than we think. I know he's a guy that we're friends on. Um, I don't. We're either friends on PSN or I see his chat, his stream link come up all the time because he's still playing Madden. So he's probably still good if he's still playing in July/August. And I'm excited to see what he can do with the Lions. So Sham, you said you want to go to the next team, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, let's do it. This might be the one that I need to actually pull down everything. Yes, I'm going to because this is the most off-center logo I made. The New Orleans Saints coming in at a Madden School rank of number 7, and I am going to scroll all the way to the top of the article to see what Madden School had to say as their sleeper player. Quarterback Taysom Hill is a household name at this point, but with 90 speed rating, it will give users some exciting potential in case they're struggling to move the ball in the Saints' conventional way. If you're able to get some confidence in his throwing ability throughout the franchise, he could become a threat that opposing defenses will always have to worry about. Plenty more context there. I'm counting 6 other paragraphs on the Saints that just give you a nice blueprint for how to build this team. Um, Stokes, there may not be. You know what? We're gonna go to Magic here because Magic. I always feel
Oh
bad
boy.
that you're just the uniform guy, but I know the Saints were a team that you liked a lot. There may not be a lot of building necessary here. This is a team that's ready to win right away.
After Katrina, I think they really built up a lot down in New Orleans. They have Drew Brees still, man of the people. I guess I don't know. Did we cancel Drew Brees? Whatever. He's old, but you
He,
have a backup in Jameis.
mhm.
They brought in the number 2 wide receiver. What's so funny? They brought in a number 2 wide receiver with Sanders. You still have Mike Thomas, who's arguably the best receiver in the league. You got Alvin Kamara. You got Latavius Murray. I mean, you're set on offense, and then that they're winning with defense now. So to be a team that's predicated on defense after 10 years of not, and still have a good offense, I mean that's a stacked team. It's a stacked team. There's no way around it, And whoever got this team is fortunate to get such a good team out of the
There's
box.
there's
And
a
people still get things out of the box.
there's a strong feeling in chat that this is where Nino's coming off the board. I'm scrolling up. Everybody's convinced it's Nino. And Nino just got the chat, so maybe this is going to be perfect timing for him. Magic, while you're on the mic, Saints uniforms. I know you don't have to say everybody knows, but I know you love talking about them. Just tell us how good they are.
I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, they're part of the best division of jerseys in the league, and they're arguably number 1 in the best division. I mean, the black and gold is undeniable. They're what the Steelers wish they were.
Black and gold, black and gold, black and gold. That was my favorite song from like 5 years ago. Nothing?
I thought it was black and never mind. You
Nope.
got it.
Maybe on your iPod, buddy. All right. We have talked enough about the Saints. Stokes, let's get ready because the Saints are going to go to a guy who has been a thorn in your side every turn of the road in Madden. Every time you're starting to feel good about yourself, he's there to knock you down. He's been a rival of yours, both on the field and personality wise. The New Orleans Saints are going to Sham. Sham, you got a team. Congratulations.
Whoa. Is this a sham or is this real?
I think it's a sham.
Now I need to clarify something. When I said congratulations, there was like a 5-second silence on the show. Did you prioritize posting a GIF in chat versus answering me on the show? Because I am a little bit offended.
Well, I mean, just so the guys know, and of course, Josh, you before anybody else knew that I was teetering back and forth about who to pick, and actually I was going to pick one of the worst teams over picking one of the better teams, just so that people would get, had better odds at getting who they wanted. And so, so I don't want anybody to think that. I mean, not that I really care, but I don't want anybody to think that out of the box that I just automatically went to a really good team. So,
And then Sham said, "Fuck you guys, I'm taking the Saints."
You can only take the Jags so many times before you're like, listen.
Sham has put his time in with the Jags. And let's be honest, like the Saints are good, but it's not like he took the two teams that everybody is talking about right now are the Ravens and the Chiefs, and maybe a little bit of a splash of the Cardinals, who we're going to talk about later. The Saints are definitely on that level, but I think as far as like teams that are really going to break people's heart, I don't think that's going to be the case with the Saints. The Saints, I am glad I reminded myself. Thank you, Josh. No problem, Josh. I need to get back to RVD's list here. The Saints were on a total of 9 lists. I wonder if that's because Nuevo. Look at you. I didn't know you hoblowed Espanol. 3 owners listed them in the number 1 spot. 3 owners listed them in the number 3 spot. They also appeared at the number 2 and 4 spots. Wonder why nobody liked them at 5. The Saints were the third most popular team overall. I like this roster a lot. The biggest argument against the Saints in recent years has been, what are you going to do when Drew Brees moves on? But now they actually have 2 viable options in Taysom Hill that Madden School called out and Jameis Winston that Magic called out. This roster is built to win now and built to win for the future. There's just not a lot to dislike about this roster. So, Sham, you talked about how you were thinking about going to a bad team, but now you're on a good team. I want to hear from you specifically. What players, what is it that you're excited about with the Saints?
I got the Saints.
Oh. I was going to say, if I see another GIF come up in chat, I am just going to mute your mic.
Waiting for it.
No, I was just want to say I got the Saints. That's what's not to like about them.
Okay, fair enough. Now, are you going to trade Lattimore?
I will not speak about trades at this moment in time.
What is Nino claiming? I told Josh after, if I get the Bills, that's fine, after he told me the commissions didn't take them. let's just clarify a little bit of that. We didn't say the commissions didn't take them. My question to Nino would have was more of, if a commish did not take the Bills, would they have been on your list? And I wanted him to get a revised list just in case a commissioner didn't take the Bills. So that's kind of where we're going here with the Bills. I don't want to say that the commissioners didn't take them, but we circled back with Nino because Stokes, cover your ears. He is one of our best owners, not only on the field but activity wise, and we wanted to make sure that he got a team he wanted, and he did turn in a pretty popular list. So we wanted to make sure that he had as many options as possible. Luca seems like he's in a bad mood, but Luca, if you want to be in a bad mood, stick around till the end because we got a little surprise for you. Um, Courtesy of Costa. All right, so Sham, congratulations. You got the New Orleans Saints. I think you're going to have some fun with them. And we do know that your division rival is Kimmy and the Carolina Panthers. Let's head up to the
Oh,
AFC
give
South
me a
now.
break.
Give me a break. And let's talk about the Indianapolis Colts, the number 29th ranked Madden school team. I thought that was surprisingly
Really?
low. I thought look, the Colts don't have anybody that you're just like over the moon about, but Jonathan Taylor is going to be one of the most coveted young running backs in the game. He comes in with 93 speed, big, huge, powerful running back, rookie star. So I mean, you can if you're a good runner, you can make him in anything you want. T.Y. Hilton's still very nice, good speed receiver. Paris Campbell's one of the better, faster, younger receivers in the game. They don't really have what you would call a very good long-term quarterback option. Jacoby Brissett is okay, has good throw power. Jacob Eason has the strongest arm of any of the rookie quarterbacks, but his accuracy is pretty atrocious, and he's normal development. So you'd almost have to commit to playing him right away, especially in AFL that's going to project to go 4 to 5 years, to really get him to a point where you could get him on the field all together. But DeForest Buckner's a stud. Darius Leonard is a stud, even though Madden only gave him 85 overall. That is insanity to me. Malik Hooker's a very nice Madden player. Kenny Moore is a solid cornerback. They have one. They might have the best offensive line in football now. That what's his face? Travis Frederick retired from Dallas. Indianapolis Colts. This is a team that I've been one time in Madden, back in Madden 25 on PS4. I lost a Super Bowl to KJ, but we don't talk about Super Bowls I lost to KJ. We will talk about ones that I've won along the way here. Let's go to RVD's thoughts on the Colts. The Colts were on a total of 5 lists. They appeared at the number 2 spot and also found themselves once at the 1, 3, and 5 spot. Who was it when I said the Colts were 29 on Madden School on here said really? That was just as shocked as I was.
I mean,
Okay, so Sham, you also came off as surprised. You thought the Colts should have probably been what, in the lower 20s, maybe even teens?
I would have, yeah, like early, if not late teens, early 20s. Yeah,
Yeah.
I just feel like offensive line wise, they're really one of the better teams in the league. Solid wide receiver wise. On defense, their front seven is, I mean, pretty young but still pretty good. So even that wise, they're still pretty good. So I just thought that they're in, sucked.
Yeah, and they also have a linebacker in Bobby Okereke, who's a fast, young, like perfect mutt style linebacker. And like Sham said, a lot of their stud players outside of T.Y. Hilton are young, so they're going to be there, and there's still some runway left on them to get better. The sleeper player for Madden School is Michael Pittman Jr. Loved him in the draft. Is most likely going to be on the field from day one. 6'4" wide receiver, needs to be involved early on. Stokes, I know any team that drafts a 93 speed rookie running back is going to get your attention at least a little bit. What do you think about these Indianapolis Colts?
I think they've got a couple of players that you can build with Paris Campbell and then Michael Pittman. If you decided you wanted to move Ty and rebuild, that you could do that. But I think that you're obviously going to have some sort of decision what you want to do with Philip Rivers, or whether you want to just play Easton out the gate, and that will probably dictate what you're going to do with the rest of the team, because that youth is there, but if you're going to rebuild, then you're going to need to get the guys out like T.Y. Hilton and Justin Houston, if that's the route that you want to go.
Magic, the uniforms on the Colts, I think they're kind of boring, but they're probably at least a decent shade of blue, so you got that going for you. It's not like you're the Browns where you're just like stuck with brown and orange. Blue and white's always a sharp looking combo, but there's just not a lot of options.
Yeah, super boring. Perfect for Indiana.
All right, let's find out. They were on 5 lists. Let's find out who gets the Indianapolis Colts. And the lucky winner is the only Colts fan we have in AFL. Had the number 1 on his list. I'm going to call him Gabe here. A lot of us back old school AFLers call him Drop because his PSN name on PS3 was Droppin81, I think was his name. That was probably a Kobe reference. Now that I think about it, because he's a
Yeah.
Lakers fan. Look at me, and that's.
But is that not his name anymore?
I think it's Gabe El Babe.
We're not doing that. Drop.
You don't want to call him Gabe the Babe?
We're not.
I hope you wind up in his division, so you have to send a game request to Gabe the Babe twice a year.
He's gonna have to sim 2 games. He's gonna have to sim 2 games a year. I don't know what to tell you.
I'm sending it to Gabe the Babe. I'm gonna gash him with my D. All right. Anyway.
I got a girl now. I can't have these kind of questions coming up.
Oh, it's official. You do have a girl now.
Oh,
What
cool.
We
show is this?
We stop all podcasts when relationship statuses change on the fly, so we can get into that later. Sham, Gabe is a Colts fan. He hasn't been around much since the PS3, maybe some restart leagues here and there, but when he's at his best, he's one of our more active owners. He was like the original streamer along with Swag back in the day, the two guys who were the only ones streaming before streaming was just pushing a button on your controller. I know he's somebody you really like as far as personality-wise. What do you think about him getting the Colts?
Again, a favorite, a league favorite. Glad he's back. I'm quite sure that he'll.
Which one of you am I going to have to bail out of jail tonight?
That wasn't me this time. That's Magic.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, he's sure to cause fits. Even if he hasn't played in the past couple of years, I'm sure he's going to cause some fits once he gets the swing of things.
Sham, Reese is offering you a trade for Jameis Winston. I'm not sure what he's going to offer, but I'll let you guys hash that out.
Talk to the boy.
In PM. Yeah, he wants to eat a W with Winston.
And legally, that's better than other stuff he tries to eat.
All right, guys.
Game is not Reese. I like Reese.
Congratulations to Gabe. Okay? So we have Gabe now as the Colts, and the Tennessee Titans are Chef. So Gabe and Chef now in the AFC South. Let's move on over to the AFC West and talk about the Denver Broncos Madden School rank of. We're just going to hold for a second.
All right. It's a big night.
Magic's playing Grand Theft Auto in the background.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Madden School rank of 14, which I'm okay with that. I know it might seem high, but they have a lot of talent on this team, even though you might look at them and be like, oh, they lost some talent along the way. Chris Harris is gone. They're not necessarily the team 3 years ago had one of the best secondaries in Madden, but Von Miller, Bradley Chubb just coming off the edge might be the best edge combo in the game. I have to really think about that. Bradley Chubb being star probably does throw a wrench in that, but they also traded for Jarrell Casey and gave up next to nothing for him and AJ Bouye. This is a name that when I was looking at the Broncos stuck out to me. I can't pronounce his name. I know he went to Missouri, but there's a tight end that they drafted. Now they already have Noah Fant, who's one of the fastest tight ends in the game. The sleeper pick for Madden School is tight end Albert Okay, Albert O is the best tight end prospect. AO, there you go. AO is the best tight end prospect for Madden in the entire rookie class. Let me think about that for a second. Is that right? Yes, this is a shitty tight end class. Even though he's only 66 overall, he has 88 speed, 91 acceleration, and he's 6'5". If you know what you're doing, you can turn him into one of the best tight ends in the league by year 3. So, guys, let's find out if the Broncos are going to go to somebody who knows what they're doing. Magic, the Broncos uniforms, I think similar to what we said earlier with the Bengals, I think they're a solid B, maybe even a little better. What do you think?
They're good. I like blue and orange. That's a good combo there. I think they're a little worse than the Bengals because that black, man, it just makes things look cool.
Danny thinks that
Where's Stokes, by the way? Did he leave?
Stokes was actually the one with the sirens in the background, and we're gonna have to message his girlfriend, who's friends with me on Facebook. I'll handle that guy since she and I are friends on Facebook, and have her go bail him out. Stokes, the
Okay.
Broncos are a team that I feel like they would appeal to you with the fact that they have Philip Lindsay and Melvin Gordon, a guy you always like. They have running backs to go all the way around. They have a very good front seven on defense. Do you like this team?
Yeah, I do. On offense, they have everything you really want out of the skill positions. They've got a big receiver in Sutton, and they've got speed receivers in Judy and Hamler. And then, as you previously mentioned, with the tight ends, Fant and Alberto, I mean, they're ready to be successful, and they're all young on offense. And then on defense, you've got Von Miller, and he's going to be a game wrecker for the entirety of the franchise as long as we're going to run it. I think that if you've got a good pass rush, you can sort of get by with not so great a secondary, and they do have a good safety in Justin Simmons. So
Hmm.
even that's okay. So I think that team is really good. They're well built to win. The only problem is the rest of that division got some pretty good teams in them. So that's the downside.
Yes, they do. They do have some very good teams, but they had what you would call like a very sexy Madden draft. Stokes named the names: Jerry Judy, Handler, and then the tight end that Madden School is referring to. That's how you build a team in Madden. Drew Lock, I think his rating was disappointing. He was a star, but only
Swaggy.
88. Go ahead.
He's swaggy. That's all.
Swaggy Drew Lock.
Yes.
Who wins a rap battle between Drew Lock and Cole Beasley?
Cole Beasley would wash him, but but Drew Lock is still a beast.
Okay, I was
I
gonna say.
support him.
Good job. But he does have some erratic throw power, but he's star and he's young, so you can get that built up pretty fast. So guys, earlier on, you guys all thought Nino was going to go to the Saints, and you were super confident about it, not even thinking about the fact that his second favorite football team was just sitting here. And I don't want to give it away, but the Denver Broncos is going to have a face that we all recognize, and it is Flip.
Wait a minute.
What?
I mean, isn't the point of the show for you to give it away?
That's true. I do want to give it away. That is what I want to do. I
Yeah.
wanted to give it away. Let me flip the name over, and it's Flip. Flip is a Jets fan. The Broncos were very high on his list, though. I don't know why the Jets wouldn't have been. That's kind of weird. Why would they? Why would he not want the Jets? Um, I love this fit because Flip is somebody who, whatever team he's going to go to, we talk about like superstar development upgrades going from normal to star, star to superstar development. Flip is going to take the total talent of a team in a franchise setting and he is going to upgrade them as well as anybody in the league. He's one of the best traders. He's not afraid to trade anybody as long as he thinks he's getting a good deal. He's going to be if you want to make a move, the first one you should message is him because he's always willing to pull off a trade and they have some serious pieces to move here, or he could just sit there and be like, I have one of the best young offenses in the game and a defense that's ready to come out and dominate. Suck it, bitches, if you wanted to be vulgar about it. Watch your mouth, Flip. It's a goddamn radio show. And we talked about Lara last week, and Lara and Flip are now residing in the AFC West. Sham, let's see what you have to say. What do you think about how the AFC West is shaping
Fuck
up?
you, JD. I don't find anything humorous about somebody having COVID. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, let's go back to that. I feel left
No,
out,
I
but
just I
that
don't
seems
no
way more
no
interesting than
he cracked some weird fucking joke about somebody having COVID, like me
oh
having COVID, and I just didn't find it funny. Like
oh.
people are dying from that shit. Like I don't find it. People are still dying from the shit. Like you fucking weirdo. But you can go back to the AFC West.
Magic?
Okay. Nowhere to segue from that. So
I just threw it to Magic.
Oh, the Lakers are now up by 14 on the Jazz.
Fucking gimp. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
oh
Ooh,
boy.
he's responding to it. So Danny says so. Josh's Bills, LOL. Um, all right, so let's move on to the last. Is Lucas still here?
Oof.
Luca's not still
Oh, he
here.
left. He left.
Mm.
He wouldn't sleep if he stayed.
Man, he was about to find out that this was all one big practical joke, and he was gonna get the Arizona Cardinals. But since he left, we can't do that now, so we'll give him to somebody else. The Arizona Cardinals are the last team we're going to reveal tonight. In all seriousness, that wasn't what we were going to do. Um, they are ranked fifth on Madden School Stokes. I think that actually might be kind of low. I thought they might be in the top three. Were you surprised when you saw they were fifth?
Uh, yes, but at the same time, when you look at the teams ahead of them, I mean, it's really difficult to argue. I guess maybe you could argue that they're more solidly built than the Chiefs. I would say no on the Ravens. I'd say no on the Seahawks. But I mean, they're really good. like they got a lot of good players, and you got a freaking Isaiah Simmons and another freaking Kyler Murray. You got Nuke, and I like that team. Wish I had them.
Isaiah Simmons is going to be interesting because yes, he's a freak. He's absolutely a freak, but they put him in the game as a safety, and that isn't really his main position. I hope on the rosters that come out for whoever gets the Cardinals' sake, they move him to linebacker. You can still play him as a sub linebacker, but as a rule, we don't allow position changes from safety to linebacker, so that would be a little bit of a bummer for whoever gets them. But I mean, how much of a bummer is it to have a 6'3", 93 speed hit power safety? I think you'll be just fine. Danny says it's going to be Costa to the Cards. Um, you know what? Justin just came in chat and asked who got Saints. That's a great question, Justin. Let's review what we've done so far tonight before we reveal the rest of the teams. We started off with revealing. God, I wasn't even paying attention. I got to go back and see. We started off revealing that the New England Patriots were going to Reese, the Dallas Cowboys going to Stang, the Cincinnati Bengals went to Trav slash Creasy slash Swag, the Detroit Lions went to A Bomb, the Saints went to Sham, the Colts went to Gabe. The Broncos went to Flip. And now we're up to the Arizona Cardinals. And let's see, Magic, the Arizona Cardinals uniforms, I think they're all right. I think they could probably be better, but they're not bad. I could live with them. What do you think?
Yeah, they're okay. I mean, you have variety at least.
Hmm.
That's something. But you're not writing home being like, look, ma, I dressed up my player as a Cardinal.
I think you
Right.
underestimate the things that I write my mom about. I would definitely write home and show her my Cardinal uniforms. Like she had to
You
block me on
overdosed on the used
Facebook
letters, so.
after I beat KJ in the Super Bowl. I was like, Mom, it was third down. Percy Harvin was wide open, Mom, and I needed
That's
a
my girl.
hero, and I found one.
You want me to send her a message and unblock you? She seems to be a fan of me.
I need to just invite her to Discord and show her what exclamation point Percy brings up. Um, God, I'm so lost now. Okay, Cardinals. Let's go to RVD. He says Cardinals were on a total of 7 lists. 2 owners listed them as number one. 2 owners listed them as number two. Two listed them as number three, and some guy thought he would get them at the four spot. That's hilarious. Well, all right. We all know this team's awesome. Stokes named the names. Magic talked about the uniforms. Let's talk about who is going to get the Cardinals in AFL Madden 21, and they are going to our guy RVD. Now, before we talk about the fit with RVD, I know there's going to be some controversy here. There's a thought like, but wait a minute, guys. You said that in the event of tiebreakers, that teams would go to somebody who's a fan of this team. I cannot believe you guys would disrespect RVD and not respect his Cardinals fandom. He has been a diehard fan of the Cardinals. He even sent me this photo last year from a Cardinal game he attended with his twin brother, RVD Part 2. And he is just so excited to be a Cardinals fan. He even sent me a message saying, I've been a diehard Cardinals fan ever since this past March when they traded for DeAndre Hopkins, and I realized that Kyler Murray was going to have a escape artist again. And I am just so excited for RVD. If you're watching the podcast, you're seeing the picture on your screen right now. RVD gets his Arizona Cardinals. Luca, this was for you. And I wish you had been here to see it because I think this would have calmed some of your frustration that the Cardinals weren't going to go to a Cardinal fan. RVD is Mr. Cardinal. He can name at least 5 players, maybe 6. So, in all
Uh,
seriousness, RV
Anquan Bolden.
in all Anquan Bolden. In all seriousness, guys, this team is just lights out, ready to go on offense. Now, defensively, they do leave a little bit to be desired. Patrick Peterson is still whatever he is at this point in his career. Buda Baker is a decent safety. Um, I is it Chandler Jones is really good in Madden. He's really good in real life, so it's kind of disrespectful. Like he's really good in Madden, but in general, you're not taking this team. The defense has a ways to go. I think you're going to have to score some points. But the good news, Magic, is this roster is set up to score points,
Best defense is scoring more points than the other team.
and that is math.
Yeah. No, really. I mean, you have a young quarterback. You're set. He's gonna be rated well. David Boston. There you go, Cardinals player.
There it is. I'm excited for RBD. He's always been more of a passer, and he certainly has the quarterback and the wide receivers to pull that off. Stokes, are you now sweating it out, hoping you don't get an NFC West fan because RVD has absolutely owned you in Madden?
Yeah, man. I mean, I
every
guess
every time
I
the
can I
playoffs come around.
can I can imagine that I don't have the 49ers now since RVD's over there in Arizona. I wouldn't have to deal with that twice a year. But
Hit up
yeah,
the rent.
I'm glad I don't have to deal with that. Thank goodness.
Spoiler alert, there's
Did do
two
the
teams
rent.
left. We don't have to tell them.
Oh gosh.
We are going to have to do some show prep because between the sirens going off, Sham cutting the promos on people randomly, um, Magic talking about his relationship, me talking about the Super Bowl I beat KJ in, which if you missed it, if you ever want to know what Super Bowls I have won, you just do that and it brings them all up. It's pretty fantastic. But if you've won a Super Bowl, if you're not looking at chat right now and just listening to the podcast, you have no idea what I did. I put exclamation Josh in chat. But you can do that for any Super Bowl winner. You can do exclamation Nino, and it brings up all of his as Super Bowl, and it's an annoying list. You can do exclamation point K Will. You can do whoa, where's exclamation point K Will? What happened there? K Wilson?
That was rude.
Oh, there it is, K Wilson.
There it is.
And then you can even do exclamation point Sham and relive Sham's Jacksonville Jaguars defeating the CPU Packers 13-10 for his first and only offline Super Bowl win. Sure, Sham had to restart the game twice and remove Aaron Rodgers from the roster, but he got it done. Wait a minute, what? Somebody block Nino. He is not. Nobody likes to talk about games from the past. Um, so guys, let's review what we did tonight. We had
Are we
Car.
done?
Well, no, we still have to talk about what teams we're going to reveal next week.
Oh, but I mean, like we did 8 teams already. Man, that flew by, man.
Hey.
Like a cardinal in the sky.
RVD is going to appreciate that joke as a lifelong Cardinal fan. All right, so the Arizona Cardinals went to RVD. The New Orleans Saints went to Sham, so 2 commissions off the board. The Detroit Lions went to A-Bomb. Nobody went to Nino. The Dallas Cowboys went to Stang. The Patriots went to Reese. Nobody went to Nino. The Bengals went to Trev, Creasy, Swag. The Colts went to Gabe. Nobody went to Nino. And the Broncos went to Flip. And I don't think anybody went to Nino tonight. All right, guys. Of these 8 teams, which one now, Sham, don't pick yourself. Stokes, which one has you the
Uh-oh.
most excited to see how they do in Madden
Hello?
21?
Hello?
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 New phone, who
Oh,
dis?
Stokes, you're back.
We've
I
been here,
think
dude. I
that,
don't know what happened to you. Go ahead,
Jesus
Stokes.
Louise. I want to see what RVD is going to do with the Cardinals because he's always been a good passer, and I don't know how he'll. A lot of the things when I've played him, obviously, he doesn't roll out of the pocket much, and part of what makes escape artist quarterbacks so deadly is because they can change everything about a passing play because they can get out of the pocket so quickly. I wonder if that's going to a blessing or a curse for him, whether he'll roll out of the pocket too much or depend on it too much just because you've got it, and that can ruin some of the passing windows, or you can run yourself into sacks when you don't necessarily need to roll out. I think having that offense and Kyler Murray, it'll be interesting to see how he's going to go against the 49ers and the Seahawks.
All right, Magic. Who on this list? Oh, Luke is back. I wonder if he's watching the podcast because I think the photo's still up. Let's go double check. It is. Okay, Magic. Which of the teams revealed tonight is exciting to you?
I mean, there are so many teams that I'm excited for all of them equally, the same amount.
Um,
Um,
Let me stop you right there, Magic. Luca, what you're looking at is when you left. I was trying to tell people that I think you were going to be upset that the Cardinals went to somebody who wasn't a Cardinal fan, but I just wanted to say that RVD is a Cardinal fan. We have proof positive here. He went to the game last year against the Schmelzes, and they dominated in every facet: offense, defense, the other one, and they were just absolutely cardinaling up the Schmelzes. And he has been a diehard fan ever since this past March when they traded for Nuke Hopkins, and he is ready to roll with his Cardinals. Um, and it is going to be on. I think he is going to just play extra hard to go to war with Kyle Murray, um, Anthony Hopkins.
Nick Simmons.
Yep, Simmons. Oh, they got that
Ron
Simmons.
Matthew?
They got that Simmons guy in the draft. Is he any good? That's right.
Right.
Uh, Chandler, something or other. Anyway,
Johnson, I think.
yeah, Johnson. Anyway, Luca, we thought this would be better for you that your team went to somebody who was a Cardinal fan. Could you imagine if they went to like me? I'm not a Cardinal fan. Like, well, I would just be out there being like, "Whoa, look, Kyler Murray's pretty fast." He is pretty fast, by the way. I don't know if you guys knew that. Anyway, Magic, were you done giving your favorite team for the night? Were you just filling time, or do you actually have a favorite team for tonight?
Oh, yeah. No, I don't care.
Okay.
I'm
And
sorry.
speaking of guys who don't care about what happened tonight, Sham, who was your favorite pick tonight besides yourself?
Hmm.
Fuck you, JD. But drop.
I'm going to Gabe. All right, let's read some comments from chat real quick before we get into next week's teams because people are just on fire with hot takes tonight. It's like people just don't think that we have their best interests at heart. There were some predictions here. Um, Justin says two of his teams are off the board. That is interesting. This is going to be a spoiler alert. Everybody in the league is going to actually lose at least four of the teams they had on their lists. So that's not really that big of a surprise there, Justin. Let's see.
I had a 10-team list, so what's that mean?
Means you get zero. Sham is going to be in his inbox every
Sweet.
night with Kamara offers. That's also from Justin, and that is true. Sham is going to be offering you Kamara non-stop. I think there is some thought right now that Nino is going to the Ravens, and they are reiterating that Joker will quit if Nino gets the Ravens, which is just amazing because, well, never mind. Don't nobody say anything. All right. let's Let's go on and look at Nino. RVD stands for Rogers Cromartie, Vance Joseph, and Darnell Dockett. Perfect. All right, guys. Let's not waste any more time. Let's talk about the teams that are going to get revealed next week. We have half the league done, half of it to go, and let's. I hate to take this photo off of there though. I mean, it just makes you so happy to see a fan like enjoying. And look at his twin brother RVD too behind him, like with this same smile on his face. I just, football just gets you right in the feels sometimes. Let's go. Well, it's all black. That's not good. Podcast number 3 background.
All black is bad now.
Take it easy there, buddy. Take it easy. Yes, speaking of bitmapped photos, that is one stretched out logo. I was in a hurry tonight. No judgments, please. Next week on the podcast, we have the New York Jets, the Oakland Raiders. What, some guy named Lamar Jackson? That might be interesting. Jacksonville Jaguars, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Minnesota Vikings, the Atlanta Falcons, and the guy who, when they were turning all of the quarterbacks into females, was by far the hottest female, Jimmy Garoppolo,
Weird sentence. It's a weird
and
sentence. Just
the
want to.
San Francisco. Well,
Indeed.
I'm not even ashamed of that. Any of you that saw Jimmy Garoppolo's face when he was a female, take all my money. San Francisco 49ers. What am I saying the weirdest thing on chat tonight? Do I need to rewind this and say some of the weird shit you guys talked about tonight?
Please do.
Okay, well,
You're gonna lose an argument.
it started off with JD talking about COVID. And then it went to
Topical.
sirens at Magic's house. And then
That's just it's Monday. What do you? I mean, it's Monday. What do you want?
I think the hamster got stuck.
Yikes.
oh man. All right, guys. Any predictions for these teams? Even though you guys all know these teams.
I think they're going to go to some people who are going to be very happy.
Yeah.
Not Luca.
Well, he already got a team. They can't go to him. You silly dilly.
Sham's prediction is none of these teams go to Luca. That's probably pretty safe. I actually like this list next week. We have what I think are two of the best teams in the entire game in Baltimore and San Francisco for very different reasons. Baltimore, you have the best all around weapon in the game in Lamar Jackson. And San Francisco, you have maybe the best defense in Madden that's just mutt level. And then you just have some all around studs. Like, I think I just said all around 5 times in about a 30-second span, and that is all around embarrassing. The Philadelphia Eagles have a lot of speed after trading for Marquise Goodwin, drafting Rieger, Jalen Rieger, even though they could have had a much better receiver. But we're not going to talk about that. But Justin Jefferson teams is going to be revealed next week. They also have Deshaun Jackson. They have 2 really good tight ends. The Atlanta Falcons are still a very nice offense. I love their offensive line in Madden, and they have some good pieces on defense at least, especially drafting AJ Terrell. Oakland Raiders have a lot of intriguing talent, especially at the wide receiver position after this draft.
Las Vegas. Excuse me, sir. Correction. Las Vegas Raiders.
Damn it, you're right. I need to get that in my mind by next week. The Jacksonville Jaguars, Sham, actually, I think, have some intriguing talent, some speed on offense, some good running backs, have some good players on defense. And then the New York Jets. All right, guys, so that's the podcast for tonight.
They have 2 first-round picks coming.
The Jets have, well, they won the shit out of that trade.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do we all agree with that?
Yeah.
Like, I get the fact that Jamal Adams is supposedly a beast, right? But if we're going to talk some real life football here for a second, they spent 2 first-round picks and a third-round pick to basically upgrade their safety position from above average to great. Because they also gave up Bradley McDougall, who grades out on a lot of these sites as above average. So they upgraded safety from above average to, I'm putting great in air quotes because Jamal Adams, while he's good and probably a perfect fit for what they want to do in their system, playing that Cam Chancellor role, like, I think there are some limitations to his game that make him a little bit overrated. Um, just if it was someone like Minka Fitzpatrick, right, who isn't as flashy as Jamal Adams, he's just, not the athlete Jamal Adams is, doesn't hit as hard, isn't as physically imposing. But Minka Fitzpatrick can play center field. He can play up in the box. He can come down and play nickel cornerback. He can play outside cornerback. He's a guy that can do everything all over the field. Whereas Jamal Adams is a box safety who is okay in coverage, but there's no way in the world I would give up 2 first-round picks to upgrade safety from average to good or great in any world, and I certainly wouldn't do it for Jamal Adams. I thought the Jets had a very good trade there, but unfortunately, in the Madden world, that left them pretty bare in a league like AFL that is really not gonna probably go long enough, 4 or 5 seasons max based on our timeline to really make those picks pay off, especially when you're talking about 1, 2 drafts from now. All right. Real quick, Stokes, what team are you most excited about next week?
The Ravens.
And why?
Because the Ravens, I think once people see who the Ravens are, I think that's how people, I don't know, they plan everything else because that's one of the better teams. Then is you got the Chiefs or the Niners. The Ravens and the Niners, they're the one of the top teams, and I think that people want to figure out whether the Ravens will trade Lamar Jackson, and they probably shouldn't. I don't know. I just like the thought of talking about the Ravens squad.
Magic, what team stands out to you for next week?
The Jacksonville Jaguars.
Why?
Fred Taylor is a beast.
You son of a
You
bitch.
can't cover Jimmy Smith.
Can't cover Jimmy. The only thing that could cover him is a cell phone in his pocket, man. That's all the coverage he needs.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
All right, Sham, who are you talking about? Justin, we're convinced that Magic is playing Grand Theft Auto, only the virtual reality version where he's actually in the game right now. That's where he is.
I am. I would like to hear who the Jags owner is.
Oh, look at that. A little copycat over here.
Indeed.
Yeah. I'm. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Just,
I like I like the Eagles roster a lot, especially with the addition of Darius Slay. I think I'm really excited to see where they go. Minnesota, to me, they're not as attractive as they have been in years past because they lost a receiver. Let me check my notes. I think his name was
that's not bad.
Stephon Diggs. Where did he go? I can't remember, but he went somewhere that to a team that's probably going to win the Super Bowl. But they do have a lot of weapons there. Dalvin Cook is just fantastic in Madden. And then, I'm interested to see who gets the Jets because, yes, there's a lot of work to do there, but I'm not going to say that, but there's going to be a twist on the Jets that I think is going to make them a little bit more interesting that I don't want to necessarily reveal right now. But I will say, not Jets related, one of these teams, not counting the Jets, I'm not saying the Jets were or won't, but one of these teams went surprisingly undrafted, so to speak, and will get a development boost. And I was pretty surprised by that based on the amount of talent they have on their roster, that when you give this team a development boost, I think it becomes one of the sexier landing spots in Madden with the talent they have on their roster. I don't want to say who, but next week I think you're going to be surprised because I was surprised that they didn't go to somebody who had them on their list. So guys, any final thoughts before we get out of here on AFL team selection number 2?
I didn't get that in early, so I had to make sure I
That's
got
true. Well, you got to make sure you
Really
get it
hoping.
in.
Chill, Playboy.
it.
Magic, any update on the NBA scores?
The Lakers finished off the Jazz, and we are done with games for today. So tune in tomorrow afternoon.
Man, these all-day games are just so great.
Absolutely.
I was watching the Nuggets today while I was at work, and it was just, while I was pretending to be at work, but it was amazing.
Fuck you, because they beat my Thunder.
Hey, I don't know. They brought the Nuggets brought the Thunder and the Lightning. Serious question for you guys before we wrap up here. If you could only take one player for the next 10 years in basketball, would you take Kawhi Leonard or Bol Bol?
Wait, what?
Am I mic?
Oh, are we done here?
Was that a real question? I don't know.
I mean, I think you guys are being a little disrespectful to Kawhi Leonard. I know he's a little older, but I think he's at least worth having a discussion with the greatest basketball player I've ever seen in Bol Bol.
Yeah, Josh, you're not even a real basketball fan.
Are you kidding me? Are you
Wow.
kidding me? Shan, I have been a
Yeah.
diehard Nuggets fan for the last 2
Since
years, and it's been a fun
since
ride.
since like yesterday.
Hey,
It'll be a fun ride.
when the Nuggets are playing and there's a basketball game on, and my little daughter runs into the room and
Cheers
says,
when they're fun.
"Are you watching the Chicken Nuggets?" It's pretty amazing.
I will say Porter is really nice. He's going to shape up to be a nice player.
Yeah, he definitely has the skill set. I don't know. I don't know how his
If he
back. I don't know if his back is going to hold up though. I think I'm kidding a lot about Bol Bol. He's had some exciting moments here, and he definitely has an intriguing skill set. But he was a second round pick for a reason. If Bol Bol and Porter both hit their potential, then I mean, yeah, the sky is the limit for the Nuggets. But um, Porter, I'm still very questionable on if he's going to hit his ceiling. I think he's more of a guy that's going to have some splash moments, and then doesn't quite live up to his potential. That's just my thought, though.
Playboy, you have anything else to say?
Oh, wait a minute, Stokes, do you have an announcement to make about who your new favorite basketball team is yet? Are you ready to make that kind of announcement?
Oh God.
No, I'm still weighing my options. I like you said, I had a visit to Denver. It was pretty good.
Hmm.
Hank hung out with Jokic, and it was pretty cool. But I still have not decided. I'm gonna keep my eye on things.
Magic. I just had this thought of Stokes taking a picture with Bol Bol.
When it comes up to his kneecap.
Stokes with his armor on his knee.
Yikes!
All
For those
right.
who
Oh
don't know,
man,
Stokes is short.
All right, Stokes. Do you want
that's
to
that's not even true.
we're kidding quite
Aren't
a
you like
bit,
aren't you like
but
5'5"?
No,
he's 5'8".
I'm 5'9.5". What are you talking
I
about?
mean, whatever. It's all the same to
I'm
you.
taller than Nino, that's for sure.
Oh, finally, you beat him at something.
Wow, that's completely false.
It is false. You're not even taller than him.
Well, I mean, I am taller than, and I frequently beat Nino.
It would be
Mm,
amazing
mm.
if you two found yourselves in the same division. Did you say you're 5'9.5"? Is that like when a kid says that they're like 5.5 because they really want to sound
The
6?
half is important, just for the record.
Justin says, you know you're short when you add the half. Let me help you out there, Nino.
Yikes!
Stokes,
Uh,
No.
I've been giving you shit
At
about
30%
changing.
more than you.
I've been giving you shit about changing teams, but Stokes, is it true though? Or I mean, I know there was something with the Knicks owner. I can't remember what it was specifically. I think it had to do with national anthem standing. Are you legitimately no longer a Knicks fan?
Yeah, I mean, I have stopped really caring about what they've been doing. It was more so about they didn't want to make a statement. They didn't want to alienate any fans by showing any support
Hmm.
to the Black Lives Matter movement. And I part of me understands why they didn't do it, but when all your employees are asking you to, hey, make a statement, and then he doesn't want to, it's just I just had enough. And of course the product on the court has been
Oh, get
just
that product out of here. Stand on your principles. It's not the product.
Well, we know it's not a product thing when you continue to root for the Mariners and the Bills, and let's just be.
wow.
Well, I'm a Bills fan. I can say
Jeez.
that, but realistically, I respect you for that because sports hold a place in our lives that while we all take them probably more serious than we should, it, there's no law that you have to stick with a team. And what the Knicks did recently, if it rubbed you the wrong way, which for a lot of people, I'm sure it did. It definitely rubbed me the wrong way. Um, I totally respect your decision jumping off the bandwagon. Magic's been telling me for years there's no law that, I mean, rooting for a team is rooting for laundry. Root for players you like. I don't agree with that. I think that you have more fun rooting for a team and you ultimately enjoy it more when they win. But hey, when your team does something like that and they rub you the wrong way for something that you believe in that's much more important than basketball, hell yeah, find a different team. You can enjoy NBA, and Magic will tell you the NBA might become a little bit more enjoyable if you pick a different team.
And I know a thing or two about being rubbed the right way. Dum dum
Dum, ching. Are the massage parlors near you open these days?
Why couldn't you just let me leave with the joke, and that's it.
Stokes goes in for the mask on, pants off massage. It's better than what Robert Kraft got, the old rub and plug. Or tug and plug. Was that what it was? Because
Rub and plug.
she stuck his
Is a
finger up
plug
his ass.
involved?
She stuck his finger up his ass. That
Ooh,
I
was,
didn't
Oh,
read the details.
jeez,
I didn't know this.
Louise.
This is
it's
news
fucking,
to me.
it's
yeah.
fucking disgusting.
Wait, how does
Wow.
that?
It's a
Wait,
tug
how does
and
that work?
plug.
Does he lay face down or face up?
Wait, what?
Magic. Have you never gotten a tug and plug before? You clearly lay face down. You spread your knees out. How would you get a hand
Huh.
job face down?
It's a massage parlor. They have holes in those tables. They could have two holes.
What kind of massage parlor have you been going to where there's a hole in the table?
Well,
Yeah, that's where you put your face. They
You
could
are
have
a,
another one where she puts her face.
you are a sick, sick man, Magic. You
You
are
go to
sick.
a glory hole. Are we still on the air? Jesus Christ! All right, guys, we are. This is kind of what it sounds like usually for like the half an hour after we log off. Um, anyway, next week we have some teams we're going to reveal. San Francisco, Jimmy G. Speaking of like massage porn. He doesn't date porn
Overrated
stars.
phone.
Um, I'm thinking, is that a picture of Maurice Jones? No, that's Leonard Fournette. I was like, did I actually use an old Jaguars picture? Um, Lamar Jackson, Atlanta Falcons, I guess the Ravens, but let's be honest,
Rich.
it's all about Lamar Jackson. The Oakland Raiders, the Minnesota Vikings, Philadelphia Eagles, and the New York Jets for the two New Jersey guys in Magic and Sham, and for Stokes, who is an NBA fan free agent. We will talk to you guys next time on podcast number 3. It will be sometime next week, time to be determined. Thank you for listening.